ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ವಿಷಯ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಳಸೋದು ಅಂತ.
ಹೌದು, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಮ್ಮತ್ರ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನ ಕೆಲವು ಭಾಗಗಳಿವೆ. ಅದು ದಿನಬಳಕೆಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವ ಸರಳ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಗುರಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದಷ್ಟು ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾದ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನುಡಿಗಟ್ಟುಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊರತೆಗೆದು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡೋದು.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಶಾಪರ್ ಆಗೋತಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕೋ ಅದರ ಕೆಲವು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡೋಣ.
ಸೂಪರ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ? ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ವೊಕ್ಯಾಬ್ಯುಲರಿಯಿಂದನಾ? ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತರಕಾರಿಗಳು, ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳು, ಬಟ್ಟೆ.
ಹೌದು. ವೆಜಿಟಬಲ್ಸ್, ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್, ರೈಸ್, ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಈ ಥರದ ಪದಗಳು. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬೈ ಅಥವಾ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬೈ ವೆಜಿಟಬಲ್ಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಅದೇ ಅದರ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಶುರುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟದ ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ನಿಜ. ಸರಿ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಕೆ ಬರೋವಂಥ ಕೆಲವು ಫ್ರೇಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಬೆಲೆ ಕೇಳೋದು.
ಖಂಡಿತ. ಅದು ಮೊದಲು ಬೇಕಾಗೋದೆ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೂ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹೌದು, ಎರಡೂ ಸರಿನೇ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೈಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಬಣ್ಣದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಡು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಅಥವಾ ನಂಗೆ ಕೆಂಪು ಶರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಶರ್ಟ್. ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಅ ರೆಡ್ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ. ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ?
ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೀದಿ ಬದಿ ಅಂಗಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಟೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಚೌಕಾಸಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಾಮನ್.
ಆದರೆ ಮಾಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೂಪರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ.
ಹೌದು ಹೌದು.
ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಷಯನೂ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಈಗ UPI ಇದೆಯಾ, ಫೋನ್ ಪೇನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದೇ,
ಡು ಯು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ UPI ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಪೇ ವಿತ್ ಫೋನ್ ಪೇ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳೋದು ಈಗ ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಾತುಕತೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಬಳಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆಯನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ವಿನಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿನ ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇನಲ್ಲೂ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಚ್ಚಾ, ಈಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಕೌಂಟಬಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೌಂಟಬಲ್ ನೌನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಣಿಸೋಕ ಬರೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಣಿಸೋಕ ಆಗದೇ ಇರೋದು.
ಹೌದು. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಇತ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ಸೇಬುಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪಲ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಕೌಂಟಬಲ್. ನಾವು 1 ಸೇಬು 2 ಸೇಬು ಅಂತ ಎಣಿಸ್ಬೋದು.
ಆದರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ, ರೈಸ್,
ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅನ್ಕೌಂಟಬಲ್. ನಾವು 1 ಅಕ್ಕಿ 2 ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಣಿಸೋಕ್ ಆಗೋ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಪಲ್ಸ್ ಡು ಯು ವಾಂಟ್? ಅದು ಅನ್ಕೌಂಟಬಲ್.
ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದಾ?
ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ತಪ್ಪು. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು.
ಓ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ರೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ವಾ? ಕೇಳೋಕೊಂತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಅದು ವ್ಯಾಕರಣದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಸರಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾರೋರಿಗೂ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಹಾಲು ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ? ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ 1 ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ?
ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ 1 ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅಥವಾ 1 ಲೀಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಉತ್ತಮ. ಆಗ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಸೂಪರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀದಿ ಬದಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿ, ಸೂಪರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಈ ಫ್ರೇಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ತೋರ್ಸೋಕೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೇಬಿನ ಬೆಲೆ 100 ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ 90ಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳೋದು, ಆ ಥರದ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳು.
ಅದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂದಾನೇ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದು, ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಬರೋದು. ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಗಳು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆಯಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಚರ್ಚೆಯಿಂದ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನೆನ್ಪಿಡಬೇಕಾದ್ದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಹೆಸರು, ಬೆಲೆ, ಸೈಜ್, ಬಣ್ಣ, ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಫ್ರೇಸಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ.
ಹೌದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಚೌಕಾಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿರ ಬೆಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರಿವು. ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ನ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ. ಈಗ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನೂ ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ. ಕೇಳುಗರಿಗೆ ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಯೋಚನೆಗೆ ವಿಷಯ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾರ್ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಫಿಕ್ಸೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಯಾವ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ನ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಈ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಖಂಡಿತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
नमस्कार। आज हम एक ऐसे स्रोत पर बात कर रहे हैं जो खरीदारी और पैसों के लेन देन में इस्तेमाल होने वाली अंग्रेजी सिखाने पर फोकस करता है।
हाँ, मतलब खास तौर पर जैसे भारतीय बाजारों या सुपरमार्केट में बातचीत के लिए।
बिल्कुल। लक्ष्य लगता है कि रोजमर्रा की बातचीत के लिए व्यवहारिक स्किल्स डेवलप करना।
तो देखते हैं इसमें क्या है।
ये डिजाइन ही ऐसा किया गया है कि जो लोग अंग्रेजी बोलने में आप कह सकते हैं थोड़ा झिझकते हैं, वो आसानी से इस्तेमाल कर सकें।
अच्छा।
आप देखेंगे कि इसमें सिर्फ शब्द या वाक्य नहीं है, बल्कि एक पूरा सिस्टम सा है।
सिस्टम? कैसा सिस्टम?
मतलब शब्दावली है, फिर जरूरी वाक्यांश हैं, थोड़े ग्रामर के नियम भी, और जो सबसे अहम है वो रोल प्ले से प्रैक्टिस।
ओके।
तो सारा जोर मुझे लगता है सरलता और कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाने पर है।
हाँ, जैसे मैंने देखा इसमें सब्जियों, फलों, कपड़ों के नाम, मतलब बेसिक चीजें तो हैं ही।
हाँ, वो तो है। और फिर कुछ वाक्य हैं दोहराने के लिए, जैसे आई वॉन्ट टू बाय वेजिटेबल्स या आई नीड अ न्यू शर्ट। ये तो काफी सीधे हैं
तो सीधे। पर जो बात ध्यान खींचती है वो है कि कितने प्रैक्टिकल हैं। जैसे कीमत पूछना,
हाउ मच इज दिस।
हाँ बिल्कुल, ये तो हर कोई इस्तेमाल करता है ना।
सही बात है।
या फिर साइज या रंग पूछना, डू यू हैव अ स्मॉलर साइज, या आई वॉन्ट अ रेड कलर शर्ट।
और वो मोल भाव वाले वाक्य भी हैं, दैट्स टू एक्सपेंसिव।
हाँ, कैन यू रिड्यूस द प्राइस, ये खास भारतीय बाजार के लिए।
बिल्कुल।
ये दिलचस्प है। और ये भी कि इन्होंने वो डिजिटल पेमेंट का जिक्र किया है।
अरे हाँ, डू यू एक्सेप्ट यूपीआई।
हाँ,
ये दिखाता है कि ये आज के हिसाब से अपडेटेड है।
सही कहा। और सिर्फ वाक्यांश नहीं है, एक छोटा सा ग्रामर का नियम भी समझाया है।
अच्छा, कौन सा?
वो काउंटेबल और अनकाउंटेबल नाउन्स का फर्क, मतलब कब हाउ मेनी लगाना है और कब हाउ मच।
हाँ, जैसे सेब या शर्ट के लिए हाउ मेनी।
बिल्कुल। और चावल, चीनी या पैसे के लिए हाउ मच।
और वो आम गलती भी बताइए शायद।
हाँ, कि हाउ मेनी मनी नहीं बोलना है,
वो गलत है।
हाँ सही है, हाउ मच मनी। ये छोटी बात है, पर लोग अक्सर गलती करते हैं इसमें।
सही है, पैसे को एक मात्रा की तरह देखा जाता है ना।
बिल्कुल। और इसी सब को प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए वो रोल प्ले दिए गए हैं।
अच्छा, रोल प्ले।
हाँ, एक तो जैसे सड़क किनारे फल वाले से बातचीत,
जिसमें मोल भाव भी शामिल है।
हाँ बिल्कुल, जैसे सेब की कीमत 100 रुपए से 90 रुपए करवाना।
ठीक है।
और दूसरा एक सुपरमार्केट का सीन है, जैसे माँ और बच्चा कुछ किराने का सामान खरीद रहे हैं और स्टाफ से कुछ पूछ रहे हैं।
और इसमें वो प्लीज और थैंक यू जैसे शब्दों पर भी जोर है।
हाँ, वो जरूरी है। बातचीत सिर्फ जानकारी लेना देना नहीं है, थोड़ा व्यवहार भी है।
हाँ, वो विनम्रता वाला पहलू तो अहम है ही। अच्छा, और पैसों के बारे में बात करने के लिए भी कुछ वाक्य हैं?
हाँ, सीधे सीधे, जैसे दिस कॉस्ट 50 रुपीज या डू यू एक्सेप्ट कार्ड,
और कैन आई गेट द बिल प्लीज।
बिल्कुल। और एक और अच्छी बात है, वो आम गलतियों से बचने के टिप्स। जैसे ये समझाना कि आई वॉन्ट 1 मिल्क शायद उतना सही नहीं है जितना आई वॉन्ट 1 पैकेट ऑफ मिल्क कहना।
अच्छा, हाँ, ये अनकाउंटेबल नाउन वाली बात, उसको एक इकाई में बदलना।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो सिर्फ शब्द नहीं, उनका सही इस्तेमाल कैसे हो उस पर भी ध्यान है।
तो कुल मिलाकर देखें तो ये एक बहुत ही फोकस्ड टूल किट जैसा है, खास खरीदारी की सिचुएशन के लिए अंग्रेजी।
पर सवाल ये है कि क्या ये तरीका काम करता है?
हाँ, यही तो सोचने वाली बात है। देखिए, एक तरफ तो ये रोजमर्रा की एक जरूरत को पूरा करता है और शायद आत्मविश्वास भी देता है।
हाँ, वो तो है।
पर क्या किसी एक स्थिति के लिए भाषा को इतना सरल बना देना सीखने वाले के ओवरऑल भाषा विकास को कहीं सीमित तो नहीं कर देता?
मतलब क्या वो मुश्किल या अलग स्थितियों के लिए फिर तैयार हो पाएंगे?
अरे ऑब्वियसली हाँ, या फिर ये एक अच्छी मजबूत पहली सीढ़ी है जहां से शुरुआत की जा सकती है। ये एक सवाल है।
ये एक अहम सवाल है, और ये स्रोत जो है वो दोहराव और रोल प्ले पर काफी निर्भर करता है।
बिल्कुल, प्रैक्टिस पर जोर है।
तो अगर ये मॉडल सफल है तो क्या हम सोच सकते हैं कि इसी तरह की केंद्रित मतलब वाक्यांश आधारित पढ़ाई का फायदा दूसरी रोजमर्रा की गतिविधियों में भी हो सकता है? जैसे शायद कहीं यात्रा के दौरान टिकट बुक करना या फिर डॉक्टर के पास अपनी तकलीफ बताना।
हाँ बिल्कुल हो सकता है।
ये सोचने लायक बात है कि क्या ऐसे और मिनी मॉड्यूल्स बनाए जा सकते हैं अलग-अलग ज़रूरतों के लिए?
तो ये एक दिलचस्प नजरिया है भाषा सीखने को लेकर।
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine walking into, say, a bustling market or maybe a huge supermarket, needing something specific, but feeling that little nod of anxiety, because you're unsure of the English words or the right phrases or even just the unwritten rules of how to interact. Well, today we're taking a really practical deep dive into mastering the art of shopping and handling money, all in English.
And this is so fundamental.
It really is. This isn't just about learning words off a list. It's about building the confidence to actually navigate those real-world transactions, to ask for what you need, understand the price, and just make your daily life smoother, more independent.
Right.
If you've ever had that moment, where you just freeze up in a shop, well, this deep dive is absolutely designed to transform that experience for you.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how the source material we're looking at today directly bridges that often abstract world of language learning with the, well, incredibly tangible and fundamental stuff of everyday life.
Yeah, like buying groceries or clothes.
Exactly. So today we're dissecting a very practical language learning module. Its title is pretty clear. Everyday Shopping and Money Matters.
Straight to the point.
Totally. And our mission isn't just to, list the vocabulary or the key phrases you'd find in it. That wouldn't be much of a deep dive, would it?
No, not really.
Instead, we're going to try and extract the core teaching strategies, the pedagogical thinking behind it. We want to understand the common pitfalls it tries to address proactively and explore the really effective practical application techniques it presents.
Okay.
So for you listening, our goal is to offer a quick, but hopefully a profoundly insightful understanding of how a learning module like this is actually structured for success.
Giving you actionable insights, maybe.
Precisely. Actionable insights for your own language journey. Or perhaps even offer a kind of blueprint for understanding what makes teaching methods truly effective methods that go beyond just rote memorization to, well, genuine functional fluency in real-world situations.
Got it. So where does this journey, this very practical language journey, actually begin in the source material?
Well, it kicks off right at the start by setting a really vivid scene.
Ah, the visuals. Yes, I noticed that. The source material does this with some truly compelling images, doesn't it?
It really does.
We're talking about a visual feast that immediately pulls you into the world of commerce. Vibrant Indian street markets, you see gleaming modern malls, individual vegetable vendors with all their colorful produce laid out, and even those big organized supermarkets. It feels like an immediate, immersive invitation into the linguistic landscape we're about to explore.
And these visuals are far more than just pretty pictures, more than just aesthetic window dressing. Their role is absolutely crucial in language acquisition.
So?
Well, their main purpose is to immediately ground the learning in a recognizable, real-world context. This significantly reduces what psychologists call cognitive load.
Right. It makes it easier to process.
Exactly. But it's not just about making it easier. It actually taps into cognitive psychology because it activates your existing schema, those mental frameworks and memories you already have related to shopping.
Ah, so you're not starting from zero.
Precisely. Learners aren't asked to build a concept of shopping from scratch. Instead, they're connecting new English words and phrases to these pre-existing mental frameworks of markets, shops, transactions they've likely already experienced in their own lives.
That makes sense. It creates a shortcut, almost.
A direct neural pathway, effectively. It makes retaining new vocabulary and phrases far more effective than just trying to memorize a word list in isolation. Think about it. When you visually enter one of these scenes in your mind, maybe it's the noisy stalls of a market or the quiet, organized aisles of a supermarket, how does actually seeing it help you mentally prepare to speak?
Well, it triggers associations, maybe memories, expectations.
Exactly. It makes the language feel more accessible, less abstract, and crucially, significantly less intimidating.
And they showed different kinds of places too, didn't they? Markets and supermarkets.
That's another key point. By showcasing a diverse range of settings from traditional markets where, haggling might be common, to modern supermarkets with fixed prices, the module subtly prepares the learner not just for different words, but for different social and transactional norms they might encounter.
Ah, that's clever.
It's a brilliant, really intuitive way to kickstart truly functional language learning. It's not just about words, it's about context and culture too, even implicitly.
That's a really strong argument for starting with that tangible visual immersion. Okay, so once we've visually set that scene, that vibrant scene, what's the very next step the module takes to start building those language skills,
Well, logically, it's about getting those foundational words locked in.
right? The building blocks.
The module then transitions into the absolute first building blocks, specific words. It jumps straight into an initial vocabulary list that feels incredibly deliberate in its simplicity and practicality.
Yeah, I saw that. We're talking about essential nouns like vegetables, fruits, clothes, shoes, bags, toys, and then staples like rice, sugar, milk, and soap.
Pretty basic stuff.
Very basic, but you immediately notice these are all everyday items, aren't they? Things you'd likely buy on any given trip to the store. It makes them instantly relevant.
And that choice of initial vocabulary is, like you said, highly strategic. These aren't as common words. They are high-frequency words.
Meaning you use them a lot.
Exactly. Immediately useful and absolutely necessary for the most basic, most frequent transactions. And the pedagogical approach of matching words with pictures, which the source material uses really effectively, well, it's incredibly powerful.
Why is that matching so effective?
Because it bypasses the need for mental translation from your native language. It creates a direct, strong link between the English word and the actual tangible object.
Oh, word to thing directly.
Precisely. That direct association significantly strengthens retention and recall. Plus, the module wisely doesn't just stick with isolated words for too long.
No, it moves on quickly.
It moves quickly from individual words to simple, direct sentences designed for repetition. Things like, I want to buy vegetables, or perhaps, I need a new shirt.
So it's not just memorizing nouns.
Not at all. It's about putting them into immediate, actionable context. By starting with these tangible nouns, the learning process is simplified immensely. Learners aren't grappling with, abstract concepts or complex grammar yet.
They're building confidence with concrete things first.
Exactly. They're building a concrete vocabulary for things they can see, touch, and readily want or need. This sequential learning builds confidence, step by careful step, preparing them for more complex interactions later on. Just think about your own daily life, your grocery list, your wardrobe. How many of these core words do you use or see almost every day?
Loads of them. They really are foundational.
Truly foundational for navigating the material world in English.
And it's not just the words themselves, is it? It's also how the module immediately encourages learners to actually use them. It really emphasizes the power of simple, direct sentences for immediate application. We see great examples like, do you have apples? Or I am looking for shoes. And what I find so effective here is that direct practice method they use. The host says a phrase, there's a little pause, and then the learners repeat it.
Right. That host says a pause learners repeat method. It's often called mimicry or shadowing. And it's really a cornerstone of effective language acquisition for several key reasons.
Okay, tell me more. Why is simple repetition so powerful?
Well, it's not just rote repetition. It actively engages motor learning pathways in the brain. By mimicking the intonation, the rhythm, the pronunciation of a native speaker, learners develop a kind of muscle memory.
Muscle memory for speaking.
Yes, not just for what to say, but for how it naturally sounds and feels in their mouths. This actually prepares their articulators, their tongue, lips, jaw, for spontaneous speech later, making future conversations potentially more fluid.
That makes sense. It makes it less scary to start speaking too, I guess.
Absolutely. It's a very low-stakes way to get learners speaking. It significantly reduces that common anxiety of trying to generate sentences from scratch, which can be a huge hurdle for new speakers, right?
Definitely.
Instead, it focuses their attention on accurate reproduction of sound patterns and stress, building foundational fluency. So for you, the listener, this direct practice helps you bypass that common mental block where you might know the words but struggle to string them together naturally in speech.
You're internalizing the pattern.
Exactly. You're internalizing correct sentence structures and natural delivery even before you have to consciously think about constructing them yourself. It's an absolutely essential bridge from just understanding the language to actively, confidently producing it. It builds those neural pathways for fluency.
Okay, so we've established what we want to buy using those foundational words, and we can use simple sentences like I want or I need. Herdo. The next totally logical step is asking the right questions, isn't it? The ones that unlock the crucial details of our purchases.
moving beyond just stating needs.
And this module really delivers here. It enthusiastically presents the core questions you absolutely need for effective shopping. We're talking about the real workhorses of shopping conversations, things like, how much is this? Or what is the price?
The essentials.
Totally. And then specifics like, do you have a smaller size? Can I try this? And maybe expressing a preference like, I want a red color shirt.
These phrases are just paramount,
Mm.
absolutely paramount, because they cover the most common, most vital interactions a shopper will have. They empower the learner to move beyond just simple identification of items.
Like pointing.
Right, beyond pointing to active inquiry and actually personalizing their shopping experience.
Mm.
It's one thing to be able to say, I want an apple, but it's another thing entirely and far more empowering to be able to ask about its specific price, or to ask if that shirt comes in a different size or color.
Or asking for quantities too, right?
Yeah.
Like for groceries.
Yes, the module smartly includes a phrase like, please give me 1 kilogram of onions. That demonstrates practical, quantity-based requests, which are obviously essential for grocery shopping. This moves the learner from just passive recognition to active participation in the whole transaction.
Yeah.
Just imagine for a second trying to buy a pair of shoes, but you can't ask for your specific size. Or needing a shirt in a particular color and just having to point vaguely or maybe even walk away frustrated.
That would be incredibly limiting.
Hugely frustrating and limiting. This segment provides the linguistic tools to navigate those very real-world situations. It prevents that frustration and gives the learner genuine agency, genuine control in the shopping process. It's about equipping them to get exactly what they need, not just settle for whatever's easiest to ask for.
And it's not just about the item itself or its cost, but also how you actually pay for it. What I found particularly impressive about this module, actually, was its remarkable currency. It felt very up to date. Well, its approach to payment. It draws attention to highly relevant payment questions like, do you accept UPI phone P?
Ah, yes. That's a really key point. The strategic inclusion of modern digital payment methods like UPI and PhonePe. And just for context, for listeners who might not know, these are incredibly popular mobile payment platforms, especially in India, allowing instant bank-to-bank transfers super easily. That inclusion is a powerful demonstration of this module's commitment to real-world applicability.
It's not stuck in the past with just cash or card.
Not at all. This isn't just about teaching English words for money. It reflects and integrates contemporary shopping practices, particularly in contexts where these digital payment systems are so widespread, often even preferred.
That makes the lesson incredibly practical.
Immediately practical for the target audience. It goes far beyond the traditional cash or credit card transactions you might find in older language materials. It really highlights a forward-thinking approach to language education. It acknowledges that true functional fluency means language learning has to keep pace with the technological and cultural advancements that directly impact our daily lives.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So for you, the listener, this means you're not just learning English for some hypothetical scenario from a textbook 20 years ago, but for actual modern life as it's lived today. It ensures the knowledge is instantly transferable and genuinely useful right now.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, because shopping isn't always just about, finding an item and paying the asking price. Sometimes you need to negotiate a bit, right? Or maybe you need to politely decline a purchase without causing offense.
Absolutely, especially in certain environments.
And the module wisely includes phrases that equip learners for these more nuanced situations. Phrases like, that's too expensive, or can you reduce the price? And even the very practical escape hatch, I will come later.
The polite exit. These phrases are profoundly important. They really are, because they teach crucial negotiation skills and provide polite, socially acceptable ways to decline or defer a purchase.
Which is essential sometimes.
It directly reflects the reality of shopping in many markets globally, particularly in, say, street markets or smaller independent shops, where price negotiation haggling isn't just common, it's often expected. It's a critical cultural and social nuance to grasp.
Right, just walking away might seem rude.
It can sometimes be seen that way, yes.
Okay.
And I will come later, is a particularly artful and polite deferral. It shows an understanding of social grace, rather than just an abrupt refusal. It allows the learner and the vendor actually to save face, maintaining a positive interaction even if no immediate purchase happens.
That's a subtle but important skill.
It really is. And what's truly insightful here is how this seemingly small language module equips learners with invaluable soft skills. Things like assertive communication, polite persistence, understanding social dynamics. These extend far beyond a market stall, don't they?
Absolutely. You could use those skills anywhere.
In business, general social interactions, even personal relationships. It proves that language learning isn't just about words, it's about life and navigating interpersonal situations effectively. Just think about a time you maybe wanted to negotiate a price, or you desperately needed a polite way out of a high-pressure sales situation.
We've all been there.
Right. These phrases offer exactly that. They build not just linguistic confidence, but genuine social competence.
Okay, so we've got words, phrases for asking questions, negotiating, paying. With all this practical stuff swirling around, it's totally understandable that learners might start to get a bit tangled up in the actual rules of English grammar, right?
Oh, inevitably. Grammar always comes into it.
Which is precisely why this module intelligently includes what it calls a crucial grammar bite. It really clarifies a core concept, one that often confuses learners. Countable versus uncountable nouns.
Ah, yes, a classic sticking point.
And it simplifies it beautifully, I thought. Clear categories. Countable. Apple. Shoe. Shirt. Bag. Use how many. And then uncountable. Rice. Milk. Sugar. Money. Use how much. Very direct.
And that distinction is not just some minor grammatical point. It is absolutely fundamental in English grammar. It frequently trips up learners, honestly, regardless of their native language background.
It is so tricky.
Often it's language transfer.
Yeah.
The rules in their first language might handle quantity differently. But the module's approach here is highly effective because it gives clear categories and simple, direct examples that illustrate the difference immediately without needing complex linguistic jargon.
Like how many apples versus how much rice.
Exactly. That immediately clarifies the usage. And the inclusion of how much does it cost is also brilliant. It's one of the most common uses of how much in shopping, and it powerfully reinforces its connection to money, which, of course, is an uncountable noun in English.
Right.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, mastering countable and uncountable nouns is absolutely foundational for precise communication in English. Especially when you're talking about quantities, costs, resources, it's vital.
So for the listener, this bit directly tackles common errors.
Yes. This segment offers immediate clarity on common grammatical errors you might be making without even realizing it. It can provide a genuine aha moment for achieving better accuracy and just more natural-sounding English. That explicit, simple instruction helps prevent those common fossilized errors mistakes that can stick around even for advanced learners if they're not addressed directly. It's a small grammar point, maybe, but it has a massive impact on fluency and correctness.
That makes so much sense. Tackling those foundational grammar points early prevents loads of confusion later. Okay, so from breaking down this crucial grammar rules, the module then moves seamlessly to what feels like the ultimate test, right? Putting it all into action through immersive role play.
Theory into practice.
This is truly where the abstract becomes concrete, where you see if you can actually use what you've learned.
And the pedagogical value of role play and language acquisition, well, it just cannot be overstated. It provides a crucial, low-stakes, safe environment for learners.
Safe because it's not real.
Exactly. Safe to practice integrating the vocabulary, the phrases, the grammar points they've just learned, all without the fear of real-world judgment or consequences if they mess up. It effectively simulates real-life interactions.
Building fluency and confidence?
Both. It builds not just linguistic fluency, but also that crucial communicative confidence, which, raises an important question every language learner faces. How do we actually transition from simply knowing words and rules to using them naturally, dynamically, in unpredictable conversations?
That is the big question.
And role play is precisely the answer. It's where all those individual linguistic pieces, the words, the grammar, the phrases, finally come together to form a coherent whole. It's where the brain starts making those rapid connections needed for spontaneous speech. It really is the bridge from passive knowledge to active, usable skill.
And the module gives us fantastic examples of these role plays, illustrating different shopping environments too. First, we have a classic street shopping scene. It features a dialogue between a buyer called Sita and a fruit vendor. It's just a perfect, concise illustration of practical negotiation in action. Listen to this exchange they provide.
Okay.
Sita says, "Hello, how much is 1 kilogram of apples?" The vendor replies, 100, madam. Sita comes back with, "That's expensive, 80 or..." Okay. The vendor holds firm. "No, 90 final price." And Sita decides, "Okay, give me 1 kilogram. Finally, the vendor, "Thank you, madam."
That little interaction, it beautifully exemplifies the psychology of haggling and practical negotiation within a very common cultural context. It showcases not only how to ask for a price and how to confidently counteroffer.
But also the politeness, right? Madam, thank you.
Exactly. It subtly reinforces the importance of using polite words like please and thank you, even within a negotiation, which helps maintain a respectful tone throughout. This dialogue implicitly teaches those cultural norms around haggling, which, as we discussed, is common and often expected in many street markets globally.
So the earlier breakdown of how to ask, how to negotiate, use polite words really sets this up.
It's excellent reinforcement, yes. It guides the learner to analyze the components of the interaction and then apply them. You can almost hear the bustling market sounds, feel that back-and-forth tension of the negotiation, and appreciate the subtle dance as buyer and seller reach a price they can both agree on.
It's a mini drama.
It is, a complete mini-drama in just a few lines, but it's rich with transferable communication lessons. It shows learners that sometimes simply asking politely can lead to a better outcome, and that polite persistence can be a really powerful tool.
Then the module very smartly shifts gears completely, doesn't it? It takes us from that vibrant, maybe slightly chaotic street market to a more structured, arguably more universal setting, the supermarket adventures scene.
A different world entirely.
This segment features a mother and child buying groceries. And here, the interactions change significantly. They focus on different types of questions, asking for help. The dialogue goes something like this.
Let's hear it.
Mother says, "Take a packet of milk," the child asks. "Should I get sugar too?" Mother confirms, "Yes, we also need soap and oil." Then the child asks, "Where is the rice section?" Mother suggests, "Let's ask the staff." And then a staff member directs them. The rice is in aisle number 3.
And that contrast with the street shopping scene is absolutely pivotal for comprehensive language training. Supermarkets involve a distinctly different set of linguistic needs and social expectations, don't they?
Yeah, like asking for directions inside the store.
Asking for directions within a large space, locating specific sections, understanding how to interact with staff for assistance. It's all different. And the dialogue here intelligently introduces new, specific vocabulary relevant to this environment.
Right, words you wouldn't necessarily use in the street market.
Exactly. Words like basket, bill, counter, price tag, offer, discount, and even UPI comes up again, reinforcing its use in different contexts. This expands the learner's lexical field, their bank of specific vocabulary tailored to this type of shopping.
And the aisle number 3 bit.
That emphasis on aisle number 3 introduces practical spatial language. That's crucial for navigating any large store, whether it's a supermarket, a big department store, or even an airport.
So covering both makes it really well-rounded.
Absolutely. These two role plays are strategically chosen because they cover the two most common and distinct shopping environments you'll likely encounter pretty much anywhere in the world. This comprehensive approach prepares you for both the dynamic, person-to-person haggling of a traditional market and the more structured, often self-service environment of a modern supermarket. It truly is comprehensive preparation for real-world scenarios, ensuring learners are versatile.
Okay, so beyond finding the items, asking the right questions, maybe negotiating a bit,
Yeah.
the transaction isn't truly complete until the money changes hands.
We're a crucial final step.
And this module wisely includes a dedicated and vital section on talking about money. It lists common phrases that are truly indispensable for getting any transaction finished properly. We're talking about essential phrases like, "This costs €50," or dealing with cash issues like, "I don't have change," asking about payment types like, "Do you accept card?" Actually handing over the money, "Here is the money," requesting paperwork, "Can I get the bill, please?" And even that very polite common gesture, "Keep the change."
And these phrases are absolutely critical. Critical for completing any transaction smoothly, confidently, and politely. They cover the entire financial spectrum of a shopping experience.
Everything from start to finish.
Pretty much. From clearly stating the cost to navigating common currency issues like not having exact change, inquiring about various payment methods, cash, card, digital, requesting essential documentation like a bill or receipt, which is important for returns or records, and even that social nuance of telling someone to keep the change, either as a small tip or just to simplify things.
It covers all the bases.
It ensures truly comprehensive coverage of the financial aspects. And surprisingly, these practical money phrases are often overlooked in basic language materials, yet they're absolutely central to daily life and independent living in any country. Just think about how many times a day you hear or say something about money.
Constantly. Buying coffee, bus fare.
Paying for public transport, discussing prices with a friend. These phrases are truly indispensable for confidently navigating the financial world around you. They offer a practical toolkit for managing the monetary side of life in English.
Now, with so many new phrases, new vocabulary, those grammar points we talked about, It's just inevitable that learners, especially beginners, are going to make mistakes. It's part of learning.
Absolutely unavoidable. And necessary, actually.
But what's particularly brilliant about this module, I think, is that it directly addresses this. It has a dedicated common mistakes to avoid section. And they use incredibly clear, concise for wrong and ooh for right examples.
Very visual.
Yeah. For instance, you see, how much money, linking back to countable and countable, or I want one milk, I want one packet of milk, being specific, and this is cost 50, well, this costs 50, the price is 50, getting the verb right. So when we see these explicit corrections laid out like that, what does this actually mean for avoiding those potentially embarrassing slips and maybe even accelerating the learning process?
Well, this explicit highlighting of common errors is, frankly, pedagogical genius. It really is. It's a proactive approach that helps learners internalize the correct forms by directly confronting potential pitfalls before they become ingrained habits, or fossilized errors, as linguists sometimes call them.
So it stops bad habits forming.
Exactly. It's not just about learning what to say, but equally, and perhaps even more importantly, learning what not to say, and crucially, understanding why these errors typically occur. The examples provided, as you pointed out, directly tie back to earlier grammar points.
Like the how much money? One.
Right, reinforcing countable and countable. The this is cost 50 versus this cost 50. Example highlights correct verb conjugation cost as a verb versus cost as a noun related to price. That's a really common stumbling block.
Okay, so how does seeing the wrong way help?
From a cognitive perspective, explicitly showing the incorrect form actually helps the learner's brain identify the error pattern. It recognizes, that's the wrong way. And then immediately seeing the correct pattern provides the right pathway. It's like building a mental trap for common mistakes and then immediately providing the clear escape route.
Makes sense.
So for you, the listener, this section offers immediate targeted correction for frequently made mistakes. It transforms potential embarrassment, maybe from making that mistake in public, into an immediate aha moment of clarity right there in the lesson. It allows you to learn from common missteps without having to make them yourself first in a live, possibly high-pressure situation.
Which definitely speeds things up.
It dramatically accelerates your path to more natural, accurate, and ultimately more confident English. It's about building precision right alongside fluency.
Okay, learning is one thing, understanding is another, but actually doing it, applying that knowledge in real time. That's where true mastery happens, isn't it?
That's the ultimate goal.
And this module understands that deeply. It leads directly into a practice time section with active speaking prompts. It really puts the ball squarely in the learner's court, giving them the chance to produce the language themselves with questions like, how much is this? Do you have this in blue? I want 2 kilograms of tomatoes. Please give me the bill. And can I pay with PhonePe?
And this emphasis on active recall and immediate application is just vital for deep language acquisition and long-term retention. These prompts encourage the learner to produce the language actively.
Not just receive it passively.
Exactly. Moving beyond passive reception of information. It's the critical step from knowing about the language to actually using it, even if it's just in a simulated conversation initially. The module doesn't just present information, it provides structured opportunities for you to put that information into practice right away, strengthening the neural pathways specifically for language production.
And then there's that final challenge.
Yes. The final challenge offered, next time you go shopping, try using at least 2 English sentences. That's a brilliant psychological nudge. It really is.
Why brilliant?
Because it's designed to encourage real-world practice and, crucially, to help learners overcome that common, very significant fear of speaking in a live setting, that hesitation barrier.
Just 2 sentences seems manageable.
It's achievable. Imagine yourself in a store, holding an item, and consciously deciding, okay, I'm going to try just one of these phrases. The confidence boost you get from even a small success like that is immense. And that positive reinforcement is what truly propels learning forward. It turns a classroom exercise into a real-life triumph, however small. It makes the skill feel real and usable.
And to really solidify that learning, make sure it's not just a fleeting lesson but gets deeply embedded, the module wraps up with a really comprehensive set of homework assignments designed for sustained progress.
Good follow-through.
Yeah, they recommend things like write 5 sentences using how much, how many, then practice a shopping role play with a family member, and perhaps most importantly, visit a shop and try speaking 1 sentence in English.
And that homework strategy is excellent because it's multimodal. It addresses different, yet equally important, aspects of language acquisition and retention.
How do the different parts work together?
Well, writing sentences using how much and how many reinforces the grammar and vocabulary in a structured, deliberate way. That strengthens accuracy. Then, practicing a shopping role play with a family member or maybe a friend builds fluency and, critically, social comfort in a safe, familiar environment.
Reduces the anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. It helps reduce performance anxiety for future real-world interactions. And then that final step, visiting an actual shop and trying to speak just one sentence in English, that's the ultimate real-world application. It's a direct, maybe slightly scary, but courageous challenge to integrate the learning material into your actual daily life.
Bringing it all together.
Right. This multimodal approach, combining written practice for accuracy, interpersonal practice for fluency and comfort, and real-world application for integration, is designed for deep learning and long-term retention. It's not just about theoretical knowledge sitting in your head. It's a step-by-step guide for you to integrate this knowledge into your everyday life, making English truly part of it, too, in a very practical, empowering, and lasting sense. It transforms passive knowledge into active, usable, and confidently applied skill.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive that was into such a practical and, frankly, really well-designed language module. We've peeled back the layers on, well, everything. From the initial essential vocabulary for shopping items
Vegetables, fruits, clothes.
to the core phrases for asking about price, color, size. We then moved through those immersive role plays, covering both the dynamic street market and the more structured supermarket environments.
Covering different scenarios.
Exactly. We even tackled crucial grammar specifically, that often confusing distinction between countable versus uncountable nouns, highlighted common mistakes to proactively avoid, and really emphasized the critical importance of active speaking practice for building true fluency. This structured, thoughtful approach to language learning truly demonstrates how quickly and effectively you can become a confident, smart, and, importantly, independent English-speaking shopper.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this module isn't just teaching isolated words or phrases, is it? It's providing a foundational toolkit for independent navigation in our increasingly globalized world.
Tools for life, really.
Absolutely. It powerfully underscores how practical, applicable knowledge is the most valuable kind of knowledge, the kind that empowers you to engage meaningfully and confidently with the world around you. It's a testament to how language, especially when taught with such a laser focus on practical application, can truly open doors to greater independence, self-reliance, and active participation in the fabric of daily life. It's really about moving from just understanding to truly participating.
Building on that powerful closing line from the source material itself, shopping is part of our daily life. Now make English a part of it too. I want you, the listener, to maybe consider this. How many other seemingly mundane daily activities think about ordering food at a busy restaurant, or asking for directions in a new city, or even just making small talk with a neighbor in your building? How many of those could be utterly transformed with this same structured, practical approach to language learning?
Good question.
Where else in your daily routine could just a few simple, confidently spoken English phrases make a profound world of difference, turning those moments of hesitation or silence into opportunities for connection, for getting what you need, for success? This module really shows us that these building blocks extend far beyond the checkout counter and into pretty much all areas of life.
They really do.
And speaking of extending to all areas, in our very next deep dive, we'll continue this journey, building on these practical skills as we learn how to talk about weather and seasons in everyday English. So keep speaking, keep learning, and we'll see you soon.